Hello the folks, it is TRJ Gaming and welcome to Season 2 of Conquering the Euro on Football Manager 2021. Our save with OGC Nice. And today we start our season, the 2023-24 season, with a game against AS Monaco. A tough start. What is the derby called? I've forgotten what the derby's called. It's a very fancy name for the derby. Don't follow French football at all. So it's the Côte d'Azur derby clash. And apparently AS Monaco are clear favourites in this home encounter. I don't think so. I think the two sides are very well matched and hopefully we can get a result out of Monaco today. Obviously in the first 3 episodes of this series we took charge of Nice back in April, I think. So we played some of the matches to the end of the season. We couldn't really do a lot. We got to the final last episode of the Europa Conference League. We were all suited and booted and unfortunately we lost out on penalties to Fenerbahce. So we are just taking part in 2 competitions this year. The Uber Eats Ligue, which I think is hilarious. How can you have a Football League sponsored by Uber Eats be like having the Domino's Premier League? Wasn't that a thing at some point? Not Premier League, but no, it was Doritos. Wolves were sponsored by Doritos, weren't they? I mean, my brain is full of such useless facts. We're taking part in the Uber Eats League in our league competition. Then we have the Coupe de France, but that's a little bit like the FA Cup in the UK. That does not really start for us until January. Just saw the 9th round. I mean, that's incredible. There's 14 rounds. I'm guessing that's probably the same in the FA Cup, isn't it? Because you have the 4 qualifying rounds, the first, second, so yeah, I suppose you don't take part till the 7th round officially. In real life, well, not in real life, but in the FA Cup in the UK. But anyway, let's stop waffling on and look at who we've brought into the club. We've made a few changes, nothing massive, but just a few subtle changes. It was a really big squad last year. And I just wanted to get rid of a bit of the deadwood. So we'll talk about that first off. Dan Endoy went to Zurich for 1.2 million. 22 years old. Not really good enough. He played a little bit for Nice. You can see he didn't really do much. Yes, he did well for the second team, but the second team is nowhere compared to the first team. And we will talk about the one in that we had before the end of June. I personally think what needs to happen, it's a nice thing they've done with this game, but they've kind of gone with so this is the new season's transfers. That's only from the 1st of July. Now, back in the day, i.e. from last year, the new signings were from June onwards. And it's just something I'd prefer to change. It's just a bit of a pain in the backside having to go between 2 screens. We have sold £3.6 million worth. If we go to released players, you can see that we released 10 players. A few not first team players, but a few players who were in the Nice first team but didn't get a chance, the likes of Anwar, 28 years old. Actually, Fenerbahce have signed him up, but someone who hardly played for us, £450,000 who we signed him for. The squad is flooded with midfielders. We just don't need any. So we've got rid of quite a few players that were out of contract. I think that was a good decision. We've also sold a few as well. Kepfren Tram has gone to Bochum in German Bundesliga. He was a free transfer for the end of the day from Monaco quite a while ago. Again, midfield is a position we're absolutely flooded with, and he's not good enough, I don't think. We also sold Terence Kongolo to Anderlecht. We've got 5 central defenders in the first team. And he was the worst for me. We don't need 5 centre-backs. We really don't. We've got 4 centre-backs. I'm happy with that. And, of course, we've also got the players in the reserves. And we've got quite a lot of young players coming through. And we've also sent quite a few of our youngsters out on loan. I think the one to note is Alexandre Parmesan. Parmesan, not Parmesan. Parmesan. He's gone out on loan to Portugal. There was an offer from Ligue 2. And I didn't want to take it. I guess you can understand, certainly like in the UK, I don't know why I keep going to say in real life, but in England you would be tempted to send your players out to the Championship, but I'd argue that the quality of League 2 is nowhere near the Championship. So the other offer came from the Portuguese League. I think he's going to be a first team player as I understand it. He's going to be, it doesn't say what he is here. I think he's going to be a squad player or a first team player for them, which I'm quite happy with because he's a good player, he's a good prospect, 2 stars at the moment. And he could be a 4-star player. But we did bring somebody in because he was our second choice striker last year. That was the problem. When Crivelli was injured or didn't play, he was our next option. I had a real problem with that because there just wasn't any backup in the striker position. But a few more loans that we've sent out. Nobody really to be too fussed about at the moment. We have sent Rene out on loan, who was our 3rd choice goalkeeper. Again, 3 goalkeepers. Who needs 3 goalkeepers and 3 goalkeepers of first team age as well? It just does not make sense to me. In my size, I tend to have 2 goalkeepers, the obvious, the first team, the backup goalkeeper, and then a young goalkeeper. You don't need 3 goalkeepers. So we did try and sell Rene, but unfortunately, he's a player who's just signed a new contract and he's not good enough. So I don't know why that's happened. Anything else to discuss? I don't think so in terms of the outs. Again, there's one going through at the moment. That is Wyland Cyprian, who's a good player. He's someone I don't really want to lose, but he is 28 years of age. He wants to leave the club for $7.5 million. We've had quite a few. I think we've had Udinese, we've had a Spanish club wanting to sign him, and he hasn't accepted the contract. So there's not a lot we can do about that. He wants to leave the club, so he needs to bloody well get on with it. The latest offer is from Lyon, $5.5 million plus, because they're going to offer the rest in instalments, and that meets his asking price, which I'm okay with. And we have brought in a replacement, hence why I say, come on, Cyprian, get out the door. You can see that, okay, there's only 3 central midfielders there, but if we go to the squad depth report, you can see that there is a whole stack of midfielders here, maybe who aren't first team quality, but those are 3 stars. We've got 6 of them. You just don't need that many, in my opinion. Really don't, because someone's going to be left unhappy. I like to work with smaller squads. I don't see the point of having this mass of players. I really don't get it. But we've made 5 signs. I'll talk through the first one first, who's by far the biggest. We bought in Trem Mofi, who looks a good player actually, from Lorient. We bought him in for £12.75 million. Quite a big fee in the context of Nice, given we had a transfer budget of £18 million. So 2/3 of our transfer budget went on him. We were talking about not having a second choice striker, and he's delivering the goods for Lorient, to be honest, in the same league. He scored 10 goals in the season he signed for them, 13 goals season after, and then 13 goals last year as well. So for a backup player, a second team player, it does say he's a regular starter there, and he probably will overtake Crivelli as our first starter at some point. But he looks a good player, and I think that's going to be a good signing for the future. Crivelli's 28, Moffy's 24, so it makes sense he's going to come in as the player that replaces him. We've also bought in Koulibaly from Paris Saint-Germain. He's a player that was signed up before we joined the club. We couldn't do a lot about it, but it looks like a good player. A breakthrough prospect at the end of the contract for PSG. They obviously didn't see a lot in him, but he's already a 2-star player. Could become a 4-star player, so someone who could be waiting in the wings to do good here. And a player that I thought we've done a brilliant job on. We've brought him in for free. Sakaya Abu Cal. I mean, this is the problem, isn't it, with signing foreign players? I can't pronounce them. We'll call him Sakaraya, because that's the easiest thing to do. We bought him in on a free from AZ. AZ were releasing him, and I think that a lot of clubs have missed a trick here. I really do. I think he's a really good player, especially for free. 23 years of age as a backup player. A fringe player, 2.5 stars. Could improve to 3.5 stars. If we're comparing to Ndai, who's our first choice in that position, you can see he's not a million miles away in terms of the main attributes. Yes, Ndai's a bit quicker. Yes, Ndai's a little bit better. But for a backup player, for a free transfer, I thought it was a real steal. I really did. And I think he's a player that could feature a lot for the club this year. We've also brought in Trevor Chalobah from Chelsea. That's Nathaniel's brother, of course. He's been out on loan for a lot of his career. He's actually been out on loan here in Ligue, funnily enough, for Lorient again. And he was a player that was being released on a free. We knew that we wanted somebody just as a midfield. I know that we've got a lot of them, but we were releasing a few midfielders. I wanted somebody to be included in the backup, and that 6 midfielder slot, as you can see, does include Trevor Chalobah now. I mean, Troost-Ekong is a centre-back, so I'm not going to include him in that statistic there. But he looks like a good player. Again, another free transfer, not a lot to risk. £12,500 on a 3-year contract. I don't think you can complain about it. I'd say 12.5. It was just £12,000. And our final signing, this was the replacement for Cyprian, who's going out. Cole Palmer from Manchester City. I noticed he was on the transfer list. He's got a decent work rate. His acceleration, agility is pretty good. He's actually a winger by trade. We were looking at bringing him in as a central midfielder. He's not a bad central midfielder, but I think he's probably more of a winger, actually, looking at it, or a central attacking midfielder. Again, only 21 years of age. Never really been given a chance in the first team. He's played sporadically, played for Oxford United, but that's the only first team he's really been in. And again, he's a good squad player. 3 stars, you can see he's going to come in as a decent backup player in lots of positions, really. So I think we've done some good transfer business. Nothing too ridiculous. As I said at the end of last year, we didn't need to do anything too ridiculous. Just to make a few fine-tuning changes, bring the squad level down a little bit, and we should be okay. All of our games are actually on the TV until the Angers game, which I think is absolutely brilliant. We are playing every single match you can see in a televised slot, which I won't complain about, unless there's something I'm not being told here, in which every game that is played in France is broadcasted on TV. I think that might be the case, because even Toulouse, if you look at this, apart from that Angers game for some reason, are playing all of their games on the TV. So I think that all of the games must be shown on TV. That's the only thing I can think of, because I've never seen that, particularly in the UK, in England before. I keep calling it the UK. Let's have a look at the season preview before we get into it. So we're predicted to finish 6th in the league. you can see that the pundits think there's going to be this breakaway top 5 of PSG. I mean, they're really odds-on favourites, aren't they? That's expected. They've actually signed Jordan Henderson on a free transfer, which I absolutely love. They've spent big again of PSG. They've spent a net spend of 145 million. That's something I don't really agree with, but, ho-hum. I guess if they're going to keep winning the league, they might as well spend big. AS Monaco predicts to finish second. Of course, they're taking part in the Conference League. Only finished 6th last year, so want a bit of an improvement. The 5 clubs, really, that are taking part in European competition are expected to finish in the top 5. I think we're going to benefit from the fact of having no European football this year, just to focus on the league. You can see our net transfer spend is 10 million, but I don't think that's too bad at all. Obviously, once Cyprien goes out of the club, that net spend's going to go down to 2 or 3 million. Stade Rennais are expected to finish 7th. They finished 5th last year, and I suppose they were a bit of a surprise package. Then the likes of Lorient are expected to be at the bottom, but really, I think we can upset the apple cart. I really do. So, this is the team that's going to play in the first game, and the only game of today's episode, obviously, we're just going to play the one, because we've waffled through our transfers a little bit. But this is the team that's going to play them. We've got Bernardoni in goal. No change from the back 4 last year. It's the usual back 4 of Dalot, Gravelon, Troost-Ekong and Matthias Rees. We were going to play Ristic, but looking at the two, I think that Rees is going to be our regular player. We weren't going to play Troost-Ekong originally. It was actually going to be Robson Bamboo, who intends to be our main centre-back partnership with Gravelon, but he's out with a sports hernia for 4 weeks, so Troost-Ekong comes in as the 3rd choice. He's also the captain of the club, so I'm not sure how happy I am having my captain only being a bench player most of the time. In the midfield, we've got Danilo and Macaena. We were going to put Cyprien there, but given that he wants out of the club, I just don't think it's something that's all that smart to do. Then we've got Ndai, Dolberg and Coman on the attacking midfield side, and Crivelli up front. So not a lot of changes in the first team side. You can see we've got Chalobah on the bench. He could make a debut today, as well as Sakaria. Moffey as well is on the bench, of course. Cole Palmer is not on the bench because he has got a little bit of a niggle. He is lacking match sharpness as well. He only signed a few days ago. So he's going to probably sit in the second team potentially for a little while. In fact, that's probably the best thing to do. Make him available for the second team until match fit. And hopefully he can be someone who makes a few bench appearances. And who knows, somebody who might well exceed expectations. So not wholesale changes necessarily to this squad. Just tightening up, and as I said, this is a side that I think can do us well. I'm going to pump my fits. I'm going to say that I know we're the underdogs. Go out there and do what we can. I think it's incredibly harsh for us to be the underdogs. We're going to send our assistant to that. I'm not too fussed about that. So Monaco's side, they've got Sayed Kolasinac on the bench, I've just noticed. Looks like a good side, but remember, this is the side that we did beat over 2 matches to go into the Europa Conference League final. So we know we can do it. It would be good to get a win here. I think we'll be happy to walk away with a point, probably, I would say, out of this. Nice to see the table. Obviously, only 1 match took place so far. PSG played against Dijon, and that ended 4-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. So here we go for the first game of the season. We have got this. Oh, no, it's on quite slow. I thought it was going to be on quick highlights because in the games between where I play episodes, well, that's not a great start for us, is it? 1 minute in and we're behind. Great. But between episodes, I tend to play the matches at a faster pace. Just gets everything done a lot quicker. But that is not what we wanted to see at the start of the season. Less than 2 minutes into the new season. And Golovin gets past our defence far too easily there, really. 1-0 to Monaco. I would hope that's just a blip. Fingers crossed. You do worry, don't you? I think every manager does at the start of a new season. I know I certainly do. When you've brought in new players and you don't know whether it's going to work. You don't know where you are, do you? The first game of the season is a complete unknown. And I don't think that going and being smashed here by Monaco is going to do our confidence a world of good. But Minamino is on the wing here. Cuts inside. We're not really offering that much, are we, at all? Kevin Volland puts Monaco 2-0 up. We're going to demand more of the players. We're just not really doing anything here, are we? I'm a bit disappointed at this. We're going to tell the players not to stay on their feet because I don't think we're committing too much to tackling our opponents. I mean, Minamino, and the first goal, Minamino got past his opponent far too easily then. We just weren't committing too many players around at all. And the problem is it's far too easy for Monaco there, isn't it? So 15 minutes in, Monaco are 2-0 up. Not the start to the season that we wanted at all. So we've gone to an attacking mentality now rather than a positive mentality. Can we get a goal back? Coman into the box. Diego Costa gets the ball. I don't think that's the same Diego Costa who played for Chelsea. I doubt it anyway. Mokaina gets the ball back, and it'd be good to go 2-1 here. I mean, if we can get it to 2 each before half-time, that'd be cracking. And Dai is dispossessed by Leander Dendonk, one of our former Wolves players. We did go on about it in episode 2, so I'm not going to dwell on it all that much. But a good win back from Mokaina, that's the sort of thing we want to see. But we're struggling to get through here. We definitely are. This is good defensive work from Monaco, but it seems we are on the right track. Good ball from Mokaina through to Ndai, and he shoots, and a good save from Costa. It's going to be a struggle for Ndai to get on the end of that, but a good potential assist anyway from Mokaina. Coman into the box. Decent header from Crivelli, but not quite enough. We are knocking on the door here. We've had more possession. If we can make this 2-1 before half-time, I don't think it's too bad. 2-0 down at half-time, then we might struggle to get anything here. Let's see what happens. 5 minutes to go. I don't think anything's going to happen. Oh, this could be something. This could be 3-0 though. I do worry about that. Dolberg is too far back, really, for an attacking midfielder. I accept he's helping out with the defence, but he's got a lot to cover. But a cracking ball from Ndai to Coman. We're never going to beat this Monaco defence today, are we? They're doing a really good job. Cracking saves from Costa. We're definitely making him work. Kong nearly with the goal. If we can get a breakthrough, if we can get a goal, unnerve the Monaco keeper, then I think we can score 2 or 3. Coman again into the box. We're definitely on top here, but this is the sort of problem, I guess. So a bit like the first goal. We can have a corner, and then Kevin Volland runs up the pitch. I mean, Mokaina, we have a cracking tackle there. That's a brilliant one there. Can we get a counter-attack going? No, we can't. Amars to Volland. Is this going to be 3-0? No, it's not. Reese with the good thing there. He puts it out for a throw-in. I respect that completely. Good decision-making there. Amars to Volland. I mean, I think if we go 3-0 down into this break, that's completely undeserved. The way that we've played anyway and the way we've challenged them. But Rodriguez just puts it over from Monaco there. That's not James Rodriguez, is it? No, it's not. And not the way we wanted to start this season in the first half. I'm going to say to the players, show me something else in the second half. We're also going to make an early substitution. We're going to see what Tyrone Moffi has got to offer. Yep, deep line forward. I'm happy with that. Let's see what he's got to offer. A debut goal would not do in the world of... would do in the world of good. Not wouldn't do in the world of good. Wouldn't do him any harm. That's what I was going for. 2 minutes into the second half. We can get 2-1 here. That'd be cracking. But a poor ball, really. We're just not... As I said, we're not quite getting that final ball. There's something that's... The signs are there, aren't they? But it's just not quite happening for us at the moment. I guess it is still early days. We've only took charge of, 10-odd games, I suppose, of Nice. So it's going to take time to click. I guess that this season could well be a transition period. But that's a shocker. That really is a shocker for Coman, who gave away possession too cheaply. And that back pass, whoever it was from, was it Coman? I don't think it was. He'd have been far too far back, surely, to have made this back pass. No, it's Diego Dallo. I mean, it wasn't really a back pass. It was a bit tame. And Monaco go 3-0 up. And this is not the way we wanted to start the new season. But I guess I might be having my expectations a bit too high. I don't know. Equally, this is only one match. We've got Lorient next weekend. If we go and batter them 3-4-0, then we get a bit of hope. But it's not the best start. 10 shots, 4 on target. Our XG is actually nearly higher than Monaco, which shows we've definitely had the chances, but we've not quite made them count. We're also going to get another debut out there. I'm not particularly happy with the way Ndai's played today. He's not been great. We're going to bring Safaria. Is it Sakaria? Whoops. I'm going to bring him on the wing, see how he gets on. And Danilo looks frustrated. So we're going to make it 3 debuts out of 3. Why not? We'll bring... we're going to bring Trevor Chalobah on, see how he gets on. And, just give these guys a run out. Because it's a shame. It really is to go and lose this one so emphatically. I guess it's not all over yet, but yeah, I think it is at this point. I guess a consolation goal wouldn't do us any harm. Mokaina to Diego Dallo. Sakaria puts it in to Dolberg. Dolberg gets his first goal of the season and Sakaria gets his first assist, albeit not the most fancy of assists in the world, but it works. He gets off the mark on the assist count, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Again, Ndai is a very good player, but there's no reason why Sakaria can't get in the first team. Ultimately, a good goal though from Dolberg, albeit only, 2 yards out. But we might as well just go for it here. Very attacking, more direct, and maybe that tempo needs to be pushed back a little bit. Maybe not be more expressive. Distribute quickly. Yeah, again, we've got nothing to lose here. High defensive line, much higher line of engagement. Let's just go for this. See if we can get a second goal back. And if we can get it in the next few minutes, then who knows what will happen. But I don't think it is going to happen. I think it'll probably end 3-1 here. We'll just get the consolation goal, and that will be it. But I think we can feel a little bit hard done to there, because our XG was actually better than Monaco, which I suppose suggests that they took their chances better than we did. But decent signs from us. I'm going to say I'm not happy with that result because it wasn't good enough. But yeah, we just got to get on with it, I suppose. It is one match, as I said. It's not the end of the world that we've lost. But hopefully, in the next few matches, we can start to recover from that. We've got Lorient next, you'd expect to beat them. Reims as well, you'd expect to beat. We've got a decent run of matches. I mean, again, all of these, I suppose all of these clubs really, apart from the top 5 or 6, are complete unknown quantities. It's a little bit like the Premier League in some aspects, that past the top 6 or 7, it could be absolutely anybody who gets up there. So when are we going to come back? We're going to come back, I think. I can't see any massive games in here, to be honest. Do we come back? I mean, I can't leave it all the way till Lille, surely. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I suppose I can. I suppose I can. We'll come back for the Lille and Stade Rennais game. That'll give us a chance to play our first, 3, 5, 7. So we'll be 10 games in by then. That seems about right. And then we've got a much bigger action-packed period. In fact, we'll probably have 2 back-to-back episodes. We've got Lille, Stade Rennais, PSG and Lyon. That seems like one you can get your popcorn out for. And to be honest, even 3 in a row with Marseille and Bordeaux. But I want to be careful that we're not playing clubs just because of their stature. So I guess we'll work it out over the season. If we get 7 or 8 games in and all of a sudden Nantes are the best club in the league, then we'll go and play against them. But playing it by ear, that's when we'll come back for the, I think, is it Lille and... I've forgotten already. Lille and Stade Rennais matches. But I have to say, I'm enjoying this series. I wasn't sceptical when I went out to France, but I was a bit unsure. You always get that bit of insecurity, don't you, when you go from your beloved England, where you're in your comfort zone, to somewhere where you're not quite sure of. But albeit we lost today, but I think that's just going to be a blip, and we should have a good start to the season, at least off camera, until the camera bites start to show. But thank you for watching. Again, your support is much appreciated. Make sure to leave a like down below. This series is still in the early stage, so every like, every comment, every bit of engagement always counts. And if you are watching this 24 hours later than it comes out, you will get an end screen notification just a second to go and watch the next one. Apart from that though, I've been TIJ Gaming. Thank you very much for your company today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.